My 6-year-old son Hillel woke up one day feeling achy all over. He was stuck in bed and not in the mood of doing anything. So to keep him occupied, I created 4 characters, imagining them as paper cutouts. I named them Hilly, Pilly, Shimmy, and Shmaya. And that morning, started telling him the first of many stories about these spunky quadruplets. A few weeks later, Hillel was diagnosed with cancer, the reason for his achiness, and went on to become the youngest child to undergo radiation treatment awake, without anesthesia. He was able to do it because while I waited outside, I narrated hour-long stories about these characters on the microphone at the technician's desk, sneaking them into the room to be with Hillel, where nobody else was allowed in. After Hillel went into remission, I created a journal to help him process his journey. Years later, to help other children face their own unique challenges, I decided to publish Hillel's journal in the form of a children's book. I wanted to entrust this deeply personal project into the hands of someone I knew would do it justice. So I reached out to popular Jewish children's book writer and illustrator, Mark Loomer.
When Mindy first approached me with her journal, I wasn't really sure how to give it justice. I'm an animator, so usually the stuff I do is kind of whimsical, fun, bouncy, and animated. And then I asked myself, what if I approached it differently? What if I approached it like if this was an animated film? What if Hillel's fear, sadness, and anger became bouncy animated characters? What if Hilly, Pilly, Shimmy, and Shemaiah, who are paper characters, come to life to help Hillel and are flat enough to slip in with him in an MRI or radiation machine? But first, we had to find a title. I always liked Mensch, the word we use to describe an upstanding character, and they were made out of paper. Thus, the paper Menschies were born.
I wrote this book from the twin perspective of mother and therapist. I wanted to talk about how mindfulness had played a significant role in Hillel's recovery. The paper Menschies nudge Hillel into mindfulness so that when he is confronted with sad, mad, and scared, he can regulate around these emotions without shutting down his feelings or losing his cool. My hope for this book is that it will inspire all young readers to find their inner calm and strength, whatever challenges they are going through.
The main purpose of most Jewish books, including a good chunk of mine, is to teach little readers lessons about specific Jewish subjects. In our book, since the central theme is Hillel's real-life experience and challenges, it touches on universal life lessons any kid can relate to, but coming from a Jewish point of view.
I had so much fun playing with the language. I used literary techniques like implied metaphors, play on words, and personification, which honestly will delight not only the kids who read it, but their parents too.
We wanted to play with the form itself by creating a hybrid comic picture book so that it could appeal to readers who love picture books and those who devour comics. I wanted to use watercolors because I was looking for a way to translate the authentic aspect of the journal, which really told Hillel's story. Something I also wanted to do is use techniques that I use as an animation director. For instance, is a scene where Hillel is wheeled down the hospital hall and he's not in a good mood and he's thinking about his friends in summer camp. Maybe a classic way you would do that in a picture book is you'd show it in a word balloon, or you'd have a long text explaining how he feels. And I use a technique that you use in film, where basically in the same image you see a segment of this hallway where you see the lake, the lifeguard, you see his friends, and these two images are superimposed.
Hillel and the Paper Menschies is a story about how kids must at times navigate life's downs and ups, and how it's possible to fill the journey with mindfulness, resilience, and creativity, and sometimes even make it a fun ride.